When you swallow it. Swallow it.
Establishment has a lot of, they will stop at nothing to complete their toolkit of control. And one of the things that has been missing from the toolkit of total control has been quarantines. Curfew. It's a more invasive way, and the ruling class needs this. But if the ruling class ever saw wide-scale civil unrest, you'd see an Ebola outbreak in America.
You swallow it.
Right away.
What you see is that Ebola is
another tool in the toolbox of the ruling class. Just said, this is a tool. Ebola doesn't just magically start spreading, and then we have these doctors that come back here. The white people, of course, live. All the black people are going to die. Right? It's very possible that one of these NGOs over there. Is going around with a veil of Ebola or spreading it from a small plane onto it. The point is to get hundreds of thousands of people infected with it and create the next phase of control. Here's a document from the Rockefeller Foundation. Rockefeller Foundation right there. You can zoom in on that where my finger is. And it's called Scenarios for... For the future international development, the Rockefeller Foundation. It's called lockstep. Lockstep. They saw the entire system of the United States, including the population, were in lockstep. So the Congress went along, and yes, it was Osama bin Laden, and the people waved their flag and said, I hate, 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 and everything was in lockstep. Well, these are scenario narratives. And they speak about it in the past tense. So they put out this scenario. In 2010, they published it, Lockstep. A world of tighter, top-down government control and more authoritarian leadership, with limited innovation and growing citizen pushback. In 2012, the pandemic that the world has been anticipating for years finally hit. Unlike 2009's H1N1, this new influenza strain originating from wild geese, even the most pandemic-prepared nations were quickly overwhelmed when the virus streaked around the world, infecting nearly 20% of the global population and killing 8 million in just 7 months, the majority of them healthy young adults. The pandemic also had a deadly effect on economy. You can see that agenda, control agenda, written down, and it's anybody's guess how this becomes effectuated in real life. This is written specifically as marching orders, or whether people take it upon themselves in the intelligence networks to say, okay, well, this has been produced, so this is the plan. These narratives have to be written in advance. The intelligence agencies don't know how to do these narratives. They need help. These think tanks, they come up with these, like Rand Corporation, Rockefeller Foundation. These are think tanks of death. They're not the think tanks. They're not there to find great ways to help people. The pandemic also had a deadly effect on economics. International mobility of both people and goods screeched to a halt, which is what they want. They want a completely isolated world, like debilitating industries of tourism and breaking global supply chain. And they want you at home in your house in front of the TV, and they got you, because once you watch the TV, they own your soul. Even locally, normally bustling shops and offices sat empty for months. The pandemic blanketed the planet, though disproportionate numbers in Africa died. Southeast Asia and Central America, where the virus spread like wildfire. But even in developed countries, containment was a challenge. The United States' initial policy of strongly discouraging citizens from flying proved deadly in its leniency. Accelerating the spread of the virus, not just within the United States, but across borders. However, a few countries did fare better. China in particular. The Chinese government's quick imposition and enforcement of mandatory quarantine for all citizens, as well as its instant and near hermetic sealing off of all borders, saved millions of lives, stopping the spread of virus far earlier than in other countries. We have to look towards the Chinese, the oppressive totalitarian Chinese regime, as an example of what we need to be doing here. The ruling class here loves the Chinese regime because they have demonstrated to the ruling ruling class, the most efficient form of capitalism, which is authoritarian capitalism. China's government was not the only one that took extreme measures to protect its citizens from risk and exposure. During the pandemic, national leaders around the world flexed their muscles, flexed their authority, and imposed airtight rules and restrictions, from the mandatory wearing of face masks to body temperature checks at the entries to communal spaces. This is a dragnet for everything. So if they're building a system there, every move you make, you gotta go through them. Even after the pandemic faded, this more authoritarian control and oversight of citizens and their activities.
Did that happen already with 9/11?
Of course.
9/11 was how many, 14 years ago, and we still have all these draconian rules.
So in order to get to the supermarket, you gotta have the body cam research, and then when there's no more Ebola, well, you know what? We kind of like this way because we have a complete infrastructure of a control grid. At first, the notion of a more controlled world gained wide acceptance and approval. Citizens willingly gave up some of their sovereignty and their privacy to more paternalistic states in exchange for greater safety and stability. The National Security Memorandum number 200. You look that up on your internet. He says that there's too many people, we got to get rid of the population. He used the word depopulation, which is different. Depopulation means killing people that already exist, and it's to get the minerals. The CDC has a patent on Ebola. So basically, if you want to get a cure for your Ebola, patented the main strain plus something like 17 other strains of it. So they own it. They want to get more control, more instant produce. And that's the American people. Start to get some new way to revolt, a new way to organize, a new way to protest. It's going to be a slave state here. The ruling class doesn't seem to have too much resistance against everything on the edge. If you want to live in a world where you're tricked into all this stuff because it's for your safety, right? And if you want to have a probe and make sure you got to check your pockets, make sure you don't have anything incriminating on you before you go out, and when you step out of your house, you want some police there to monitor and see what you're doing. If that's the world you want to live in, be empathetic. Don't do anything. You're going to get that world very soon. It's coming your way. Wake up, learn about it, and go fight these bastards in Washington. They're easy to beat. If we can just organize, we can beat them. It's simple. They're weak, and there's so few of them.
Some people have a deep, abiding respect for the natural beauty that was once this country. And some people don't. People start pollution. People can stop it. Pollution booklet, box 1771, Radio City Station, New York.
When you swallow it,